As NFTs have exploded on the scene and everybody is buying and selling these things, there's suddenly lots of debate about which is the best platform to buy and sell on. And two platforms have really risen to the top during this debate: OpenSea and Rarible. So which one should you focus on for your selling or even your buying efforts? And is it really worth ignoring one in favor of the other? Well, today I'm gonna help you figure out which is best by comparing their selling costs, minting complications, how gas is managed, how easy it is to find buyers, and how easy it is to get found on the platform. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a metaverse marketing strategist, and this is the best channel for you to learn about the metaverse, NFTs, and marketing. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know which of these two platforms you prefer. I would love to know, and let's get started. Let's talk about selling costs quickly, and I want to clearly say we're not going to talk about gas fees at this point, because those gas fees are not going to the platforms. They have nothing to do with OpenSea or Rarible. Though at the same time, what I just said is also a little bit oversimplified, which I'm going to expand more on when we talk about minting in just a minute. But in any case, what we want to talk about here is effectively transaction fees, okay? And for both Rarible and OpenSea, the transaction fee is pretty straightforward. That amount is 2.5%. However, OpenSea only charges 2.5% to the seller, whereas Rarible will charge 2.5% to the seller and to the buyer. So in this case, because the transaction fee is effectively cheaper because it doesn't charge the buyer anything, we're gonna put the point to OpenSea. Next, let's talk about minting, and there are two aspects to minting. There's the difficulty and there's the gas fee. So let's talk about difficulty first. And I'm looking at it from this perspective. You've got 10,000 NFTs that need to be minted. How easy is that to do? How functionally easy is it to make that happen on OpenSea and Rarible? Both of them, OpenSea and Rarible, allow you to upload a single piece at a time or multiples of the same NFT. So you can have the exact same Pudgy Penguin with the exact same traits uploaded multiple times, or you can upload a single piece of one NFT. But neither of them currently make it possible for you to upload multiple unique NFTs at the same time. In fact, if you want to do that, you have two options. You can use a third-party tool to do it for you, which sounds like the right option, or you can spend a mind-numbing amount of time to do it yourself. And I mean mind-numbing. I would only suggest that you do that if you like pain, because I don't think you realize how much information you have to add in for 10,000 different NFTs. That would be horrible, okay? So for point of difficulty, I'm gonna give it to nobody because they're both difficult and it's unnecessary. And then the other side of minting, gas fees. So gas is inevitable. That's something that we're always gonna have to pay. But the question here is, when do you have to pay the gas? Because that's what matters here, okay? If you have to pay it all up front because you have to mint everything at one time, that can get pretty expensive pretty fast. Even if every gas transaction is $1, that's still $10,000 for a 10,000 piece collection. OpenSea and Rarible both allow you to do lazy minting. So lazy minting allows you to upload anything that you want to the platform, kind of like as an image, post it for sale, and when someone buys it, that's the moment that OpenSea is gonna mint the NFT, which means that you're only paying those fees, those gas fees to Ethereum or Solana or Polygon or whatever, when the transaction occurs. So you're not paying for a 10,000 piece collection all at the same time. That's a really advantageous thing, and both of them are offering that, okay? Which means that since both of them can do it effectively, they both get a point. Next, let's talk about finding buyers. So to find buyers, you need to have people trading on the platform, which means that we want to know how many users are on the platform in general and what the trading volume is like. So OpenSea has boasted in January 2022 alone 120 million active users and around $5 billion in transactions. Rarible, on the other hand, has had around 7 million active users in January and around $274 million in transactions. So a pretty wide berth there. It's also been reported that OpenSea makes up around 60% of all of the NFT transactions on the internet. So when you consider that we've got OpenSea taking up 60% and Rarible squeezing in with everybody else for the other 40%, it's pretty unequivocal. OpenSea takes the point here. And then finally, search manipulation. So what do I mean by that? I mean that of the hundreds of thousands of NFTs that are on one of these markets right now, how can you get yours to stand out? Right now, there isn't much to do here on either platform. There's some basic metadata like the name and description, but otherwise there's no trick or tool that you can use to boost the profile of your NFT over others in the platform. There's really just nothing to do here. So because of that, neither Rarible or OpenSea is gonna get a point, sorry. Okay, so OpenSea does win between OpenSea and Rarible on a point-by-point comparison, but honestly, I have to ask, these two are so similar, why not both? Lazy minting actually allows you to post on multiple platforms, right? Because by choosing to lazy mint on both platforms, you're by definition not minting into the last second. But this is kind of a yes and no. That's not really a clear route either. It's important to be aware that these two systems, Rarible and OpenSea, don't communicate at all. So if you're uploading on both platforms and you have the same NFT on each, there's a risk that you sell on both platforms at the same time and end up having two of the same NFT floating around, so they're not as unique as they could have been. The other option here is, of course, to mint ahead of time outside of the platform and then upload those minted NFTs to these platforms. But this comes with its own set of complications because there's no lazy minting if you go this route, which means that you are paying to mint all of those NFT variants up front, which easily runs into the hundreds and the thousands if you're not careful. Then consider that there's a fee to the platform for uploading pre-minted NFTs. So you actually end up paying to mint and to upload this thing. So you're paying even more than you would if you lazy minted on one of these two platforms. Plus, there's no guarantee of ultimate success, so you could be paying out the nose for no reason. And there's actually even one more option here. You can sell on your website. You can check out this video for lots of details on how to sell NFTs through your website, but Gary Vee and a lot of others are already doing this. And they're doing it, again, using lazy minting. Because what you have to do is go to Shopify, or WordPress has the plugin Tatum that you can use. They have the lazy minting ability through these different platforms, and that just adds another channel. It adds another way for you to provide your NFTs for sale and possibly spread them over to Rarible and to OpenSea as well. Just keep in mind that duplication issue because you don't want to fall into that rarity trap. So there you go. Honestly, a pretty easy decision, but at the end of the day, if you can diversify more, there's always more in your interest for doing that. So let me know which platform you prefer, why you prefer it. I think no matter what, you should probably look closely at OpenSea because those numbers just don't lie. You can't avoid them, okay? Otherwise, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.